Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? Jeffy, I am. Welcome back to the channel. This is okay. Let's talk about it. Got something interesting I want to talk about today. Over the weekend, our country, we went through something tragic. We had somebody unalive, Mr. Charlie Kirk, right? First off, let me say this. Regardless of his intentions or the things he spoke about, it angered people and people went along with the other, right? No one deserves to be unalive because of their thoughts or how they live. Nobody. Let's get that first out the way. I didn't agree to what he was saying in the rhetoric he was pushing, but I will say this: he didn't deserve to be unalive, and what's coming after his passing is damn near it's despicable. People don't have any morals or any proof about themselves to let this man rest in peace. But what we really need to do is look into Tyler Robinson, right? He's a 22-year-old from Washington, Utah. He was an honor roll student. He did a semester at Utah State University on a scholarship. Then he went to trade school. He was registered to vote in Utah. And what I thought was interesting about the situation is he was turned in. He told his best friend, and then his father turned him in, which is very interesting. But I guess that's how it goes, right? At the same time, in Evergreen, Colorado, we had Desmond Holly, who did a school shooting. He shot two, and the two people were wounded. They did not pass, but there was a shooting at the same time as the other incident. So it makes me think, what's going on in the world today? Both of these kids, they look similar. This is Desmond Holly, average looking, little white kid. And this is the guy who unalived Charlie Kirk. Now look like simple guys out their neighborhoods. And I guess COVID had made these guys turn to something else. But their families, doing the research, their families are right wing. And it doesn't make any sense to what they're teaching these kids. And I don't know for sure what's been taught to these kids, but what I do know is they're both like average white guys. Now I believe from the history it says they was isolated during COVID and didn't speak out much or things of that nature. And they found online groups to converse with and to join, which I think is, it's okay. But we see how these organizations push them to the extreme, right? And over the past couple of days, I've heard, oh man, hey, what's going on? They thought it was black people, especially here in this my neck of the woods. Then it has to be a far leftist. And then when we look into this situation, we find out that Tyler Robinson's roommate was transitioning to be a woman, right? Or is in transition to be a woman. So there's when that information came out, it's a whole debate in the war on trans people, which I don't get. They want to blame everybody but themselves. This is somebody that's on the right who committed a horrible crime. So this is something I want to cover because things like this, it needs to be shown. This is Charlie Kirk in the beginning.
Do you think that there should be free school lunch for all children?
No.
Why?
Of course not. Because parents should feed their kids, not the government.
What if they can't?
Go get a job.
A child?
The parents should go get the job.
Yeah.
This is important.
I don't believe they have jobs and they can't support their children there because the minimum wage is so low.
No, you are a dumb dude. Don't give me this stuff. First of all, this is really.
I want children to eat.
Of course I do. Show me a single child in America going hungry. Doesn't exist. Number two, we have churches, we have food shelters, we have billions, and it does not exist. We have a child obesity problem, not a child starvation.
Now, do you hear this ignorance? And being in the community I am, Hispanics and blacks are about 3%. There's a lot of school functions around here that are funded by the community because the parents don't have enough income to do this. This is a very poor community, right? So that statement he made about he doesn't know any children hungry, he hasn't opened his eyes up at the time to look. And that type of right-wing rhetoric sticks to people, and people actually believe that. And this is another thing that I thought was interesting. And it made me fearful because I can relate.
They go, and they're going to kill blacks in mass at a black event. The BET Awards or something? I don't know. I'm like, okay, well, black college seems like historically black colleges, closed campuses placed under lockdown amid potential threats. So see, Charlie Kirk gets killed, and Alabama State University, Bethune-Cookman University.
Again, I thought that was rather funny because these are the places they attack and place blame on when the blame should be somewhere else. It really should be somewhere else. And what has the country come to? Why are we not accepting responsibility for things that happen? Now, it was terrible what happened in this country, but it's only getting worse. And the two shootings that happened on the same day, one at high school and one at a rally, it shows you the mind state that America has and the ignorance that some Americans display. They blamed everybody but themselves. But to kind of sum it up, we have to take accountability. We have to do better as a people. Will that happen? No. It's about the dollar nowadays. And I think we all recognize that. But does that have to make you a bad person?
So we're not going to talk about white supremacy? Like, we're not going to talk about the fact that the vast majority of these shootings, whether they are seen as political or not, if we look at the numbers, white supremacy ideology. But we don't want to do anything about that. There's no legislation that they want to bring. Every time you say white supremacy, they want to yell, oh, you're race baiting. No, I am going on facts.
True. And I love the way Ms. Crockett expresses herself because there's always a blame game. Now, we just had this tragedy here in the United States. What are you going to do as an individual to make it better? Me, myself, I try to give people grace and try to listen, but I can only tolerate so much ignorance, and probably you too. But this is important. We all have children. We all have family members that are affected by this. And when I was having different dialogues and conversations, and when the information came out that Tyler Robinson's roommate is going through transition, the comments I heard just in a grocery store on how people really felt, it made me kind of look within myself. And I understand what kind of man I am, but how much hate was in their heart and no compassion. That's where we at nowadays. We let people get away with it, so now there's heartless conversations. But instead of placing the blame where it should have went, they tried to put it on the LGBTQ community, try to put it on minorities. So like I said, I'm not, I just wanted to kind of put them facts out there because people really don't know. So we talked about it. Hopefully we make better decisions in the future. Jeffrey, I am. Take some time to hit that like button, subscribe. Hey, and we talked about it. Thank you for joining me, and we'll talk in a minute.